Hey everybody, we are watching today Oliver Anthony's I Wanna Go Home.
I wanna go home. Yeah, yeah. I feel so broke up. I wanna go home.
If it won't, if it won't for my old dogs and the good Lord, they'd have me strung up in the psych ward. 'Cause every day living in this new world is one too many days to me. Son, we're on the brink of the next world war, and I don't think nobody's praying no more. And I ain't saying I know it for sure. I'm just down on my knees begging the Lord to take me home. I wanna go home. I don't know which road to go. It's been so long. I just know I didn't used to wake up feeling this way, cussing myself every damn day. There's always some kind of bill to pay. People just doing what the rich man say. I wanna go home.
Someone get this guy a therapist.
That's your. Thank you and goodbye. It's like people often say, and I was just having a conversation with this at a party. It was like a church party, actually, of all things. We were talking about how people will say things like, I don't want to have children because I don't want to bring children into this world, And I was like, yeah, when it's social media and it's all these things, right? People are like, oh, the world's falling apart, the world's ending, the world's terrible. And I was like, but look, this is the world. And I just kind of point out like this. And we were at a field with a pavilion and everything. Kids are playing soccer, grown-ups are playing bocce ball and the cornhole thing. And people are eating dinner and having a good time. I was like, this is the real world right here. This thing that people think is the real world that they're afraid to bring children into is mostly made up. Now, of course, taxes and people, wars, the things he's talking about are actual things, But some of the tension, I think, from those things is just amplified massively by things like social media and TV. Yeah.
I would say I definitely agree with the asterisk that it's probably good to kind of keep eyes on the fact that we are actually on the brink of World War. Pretty close to the brink.
Yeah. I like picnics.
Now 4 generations farming the ground. Grandson sells it to a man out of town. And 2 weeks later, the trees go down. Only got concrete growing around. I wanna go home. I wanna go home. I don't know which road to go. It's been so long. I just know I didn't used to wake up feeling this way, cussing myself every damn day. People have really gone and lost their way. They all just do what the TV say. I wanna go home.
I felt that. So coming from Alaska, we have wilderness, a lot of wilderness. And this idea of having land, pristine, preserved land is something that's pretty close to my heart. And I've lived in places where it just feels like I'm in a concrete cage. And what he said about you been farming this land for generations and suddenly, the new kid who inherits it just sells it off and next thing you know, the trees are coming down and, just
Only concrete growing in this town.
concrete, And that hurts because there's just something good about nature, And of course, we have to build things, we have to put houses and things like that. I'm not saying people are a cancer or anything like that. I don't think that. But I do think that as we grow and develop and make new things, it is important for us to recognize the value in some of the things like nature and the outdoors, and not just toss that aside to just get the next shopping mall.
The new is not always better than the old. Yeah, the town where I grew up in, I felt that too, because the town where I grew up in used to be far smaller than it is now. In the 10-minute area around where I grew up went from, I don't know, probably 4 or 5 times the population it used to be, just in the last while since I grew up. So it's very interesting to look at things like that and be like, well, I used to go mountain biking there. That's all gone. All right, well, oh well, I guess. Sometimes you just have to accept that things change, and there is something lost in the change, and hopefully there's something gained, and even more hopefully that you have gained something worth more than what has been lost. But in giving something up, you are always going to be losing something.
Yeah. And there is a grief to that, and that feeling of especially when it's something like you mentioned, like from your childhood, and you go back, if you've ever gone back to your hometown after being gone for 10 years, and you're like, this isn't it. My hometown's gone, it's not there anymore. It's a different place. It doesn't have it for me, And you feel a sense of loss, and you feel a sense of, man, I want to go home. But home's just not there anymore. And there is a grief to that. And he's really making that come out in here.
If it weren't for my old dogs and the good Lord, they'd have me strung up in the psych ward.
If you guys didn't catch at the end there, or maybe we'll just have that up there still, but it's a quote from the New Testament, and it says, if a man should profit the whole world, or what should it profit a man if he should gain the whole world and lose his soul? And I think that is a question that is worth asking and worth considering and thinking about fairly regularly, because there are things that we give up for other things. And sometimes, like you said, Chase, that's a good thing, right? We give up something so that we can make something better. But as we get older, we get away from our childhood tendencies, and sometimes we give up or we sell the things that matter for the things that don't matter because they're prettier or shinier. And then we lose out on the things that actually are good for our soul, And so whatever that may be, and in whatever form that may take. But yeah, poignant.
I think Oliver there does a very good job of speaking simple emotions that everyone's felt in simple and heartfelt ways that will help them feel it again. That's what I think he really catches on with his songs that I've heard better than other artists who are trying to show their artistry, their creativity with this song. He doesn't necessarily do that. He's capturing a feeling that we've all felt. And just expressing it simply. It's like if you go to Moses in the Old Testament, he wasn't good at speech. He wasn't eloquent. I wouldn't say Oliver there is eloquent, but you listen when he's singing.
Yes, you listen when he's singing, and you feel when he's singing.
Yeah.
Anyway, what have you guys felt like has changed since you were a kid? What do you feel like you've lost or that you've given up? I'd like to hear kind of how this song related to you, because I love when people share their personal stories mixed with the emotions of a song. So if you guys are willing to share that, I'd love to read about it. So,
all right. If you like this song, go check out, or this reaction, go check out our reaction to his other song, Richmond, North of Richmond.
Thanks very much.